Okay, it's 4:30. I call a meeting to the Finance Committee meeting for Wednesday, April 3rd. Let the roll call show that all members are present except Member Solner. On to agenda item 2, consent agenda. 2A and B, approval of the minutes of the March 6, 2024 regular meeting, and item B, recommended approval of bills and transfer. There are no transfers, but the bills submitted are $1,744,693.04, and I'll entertain a motion to pay those bills. Member by Lehman, second by Erickson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Bills are paid. Item 3, appearance by members of the public and or county employees. Are there any?
We've had no requests this evening.
Very good. On to departmental matters. 4A, Michelle Anderson has no action items, but she's here this evening, and we'll go on to 4A2, items to be presented for information, and I yield to Ms. Anderson.
I just decided to let you guys know that we received the GFOA award for our ACFR, our comprehensive annual financial report. I think I have an extra annual in there, sorry. And we received that for fiscal year ending 22. So I just thought I'd let you guys know we haven't heard on the PAFR. I do know they started the process. They actually have kind of a new system where I know when it's in process and not. So I'm sure we'll get it, but it's just a matter of time. So I just thought I'd let you know.
Okay, any questions from committee? Member Erickson.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I thought you were going to ask me how many years. I'm like trying to remember. I do think it's like 38 years running.
Wow.
So I think 37, 38. So
Okay.
obviously I did not do all of those. I don't know how
Right.
old you all think I am, but.
Any other, the quarterly reports,
So the first quarter will be here, I should have it for May. And we don't do, I know Ms. Taylor emailed me, we don't do a fourth quarterly because we have the ACFR.
correct.
So that, I guess, is the fourth quarter. It's the whole year. It's the comprehensive. It's 225 pages of absolute pride and joy. But, so there won't be that, but the first quarter, because it just ended Sunday.
Yep.
So.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next item 4B, Kathy Michael, County Clerk, is here. She brings one action item for committee, and that is 4B1A, request approval of the agreement with COTT Systems, which has been distributed to committee. Is there a motion to bring this before the committee? Motion by Rogel and seconded by Rosamond Mendoza. Ms. Michaels, the floor is yours.
Thank you. This, the COT agreement is been ongoing with us for years, and brought the recording division administrators with us, Mark and Molly, to answer any specific questions that you might have. And if you have any right now, please feel free to ask. But we, of course, are looking for your approval to continue.
Very good. Any questions from committee? Okay. There was this, it was a motion by Rogel. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Member Erickson.
Thank you. Two letters here, one from Chicago Title, one from Frontier. The title companies are all they agree with this upgrade. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Erickson, that's correct.
Okay, because when I was reading it last night, I must not have read it correctly, but I mean, because Amy starts out her letter contemplating a change, but we're not changing anything, we're just upgrading the system.
No,
Is
I
that
did,
right?
I did look at some other software systems that were out there, Fiddler and CIC. You know, they're two main competitors to COT in the state of Illinois. So I always kind of want to look and see what's out there. And I have a good working relationship with Greg Bachman from Fiddler. I always like to know what new things they have out and available in the property records industry. So I did take a look, and it's pretty even in comparison. However, the price tags greatly vary.
I, as an attorney in McLean County, well, I don't do it, Betsy does it, but occasionally she gets on there, I'll say, get me a deed, you know, and I'll give her the number, and she can get me a deed, or she'll look it up by name, and the system is really, really user-friendly. I mean, I guess she'd probably tell you that, I don't know, but all I know is when I ask for something, when I want a deed from 1975, I can get it. I mean, I just tell her what I want, and she pulls it up for me and makes a copy for me and gets it. So you really do have a really good user-friendly system that, from my perspective, all attorneys in McLean County really enjoy using. So you should be commended for that. I think that they were concerned that, wait a minute, you got a good system, don't mess with it, you know, don't leave it alone, you know, but we are staying with the same thing, right? All right, well, you guys do a good job up there, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson.
Any other questions? I have a couple. On page 11 of 15, with the fees schedule and terms, it is an automatic renewal, correct? For an additional 3 years. Are the fees, are they locked in for the renewals?
I think there's an inflationary 1 to 3%, if I'm not mistaken, that they normally do. Let's see here. The new 12-month contract term is effective 4/30. Includes 3 automatic renewals. 3051. Huh? Yeah, I don't see anything specific in that language.
Okay. It is fairly expensive. I'm sorry, administration. Go ahead, Cassie.
The draft that was just passed out to us does not appear to have the new language, Mr. Browns, that was included in the agreement that we approved. And so I'm wondering if the right
If there was a mix-up possibly.
mix-up just with the ones that got passed out tonight. So the contract that we will be approving is not an automatic renewal.
Let me see the copy that I actually have here.
Per our purchasing agreement, it's a 12-month contract with optional renewal. And so, because of the cost of this contract, we would want to make sure that it's an optional renewal, and that will come back to the committee every 12 months.
That's page 9.
Great, that's a good answer. On hardware,
Yep.
the last 2 or 3 pages, do we have the recommendations already in place for that, for those hardware and mainframe? Or are there additional purchase that we need to purchase in order to operate this system?
From what I understand, in the office, in the recording office specifically, the hardware that we have in place will be okay. We did send an email out to Craig. I don't believe there was a response on that at this time. Yeah, we just had a server migration, and usually, in my mind, that means that we've been brought forward and are up to date. But yes, with Craig being on vacation, we didn't get an immediate response.
Thank you. Any other further questions? Hearing none. Comments from administrations or anything?
I have no further comments,
Okay.
just want to clarify the terms of the contract limit is 12 months.
Thank you. All right. Item 4B, 1A, request approval of the agreement with COT System. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Very good. On to item 4B2, information. Ms. Michael, the floor is yours.
We're just open for any questions on that. We have nothing further to report, really.
Any questions from committee? Very good. Thank you, Ms. Michaels.
Thank
Next,
you.
4C, Tim Jorzak. You have no action items, so we'll go on to item 2, information. Floor is yours.
I have no action items, correct. Thank you very much for having me. As always, I'm here for any questions or comments or concerns that you may have. By way of information, we have 13 townships who have turned their books in as of, I think today. Today's the 2nd? Yeah, we just had a couple come in, so we're at 13 out of 31. So we're marching forward. As it relates to townships getting books in, we're still awaiting the ratio study from the state. I expect that's when our office can begin to do our side of the work. That generally comes, it came last year in mid-April. I don't expect any change in terms of when it comes this year, so I expect to get that here in the next couple weeks. We can get started, and hopefully we'll have an update by next month on what we're looking at in terms of what potential factors might be from the county level. So that's, stay tuned for that. We currently have, I know I've been, if you're on my update list, we currently have 2 vacancies on our Board of Review. As you know, it is a partisan board, at least the appointments are partisan. We have 1 Democrat opening and 1 Republican opening as we sit right now. We are currently in the process of getting folks qualified up to serve in that role. As soon as we have them identified, we'll bring them to you for potential action and appointment. But in the meantime, if there's anybody, it's always nice to have folks kind of in the bullpen to serve as board appointments, because prior to our board members stepping down in December, we had 1 additional person who was qualified in the entire county to serve on the board, and they were of the wrong political persuasion to serve in the board seat that came open. So it's always nice to have folks who are qualified and can serve in case we need them. We can always appoint extra members as well. That's a possibility that statute allows in certain circumstances. So it's always nice to have folks who are qualified to serve on the board. So if you, county board members, can serve on the Board of Review, that is totally acceptable under Illinois law. So if you or anybody you know is interested in potentially serving on the board, have them contact me and I can get them in touch with the folks they need to get in touch with to get qualified. But that's what I have. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out.
No other further questions. Thank you, Mr. Jorzak. On to item 4D, Becky McNeil, County Treasurer. She brings 2 action items. Those are 4D, 1A, request approval of a resolution authorizing the county board chair to assign mobile home tax sales certificates of purchase. Is there a motion by the committee? Motion by Roseman Mendoza, seconded by Member Lehman. All right, the floor is yours, Ms. McNeil.
Good evening. Again, this is a request for a resolution authorizing the county board chair to sign a resolution of assignment, mobile home parcel MG 000056. Another parcel in the program that taxes were not paid. The trustee went through the process over a period of time to acquire title and has received an offer for payment. That's it.
Any further questions? Hearing none. Action item 4D1A, request approval of a resolution authorizing the county board chair to assign mobile home tax sales certificates of purchase. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next action item, 4D1B, accept and place on file the county treasurer's monthly financial report. Is there a motion? Motion by Rogal, second, Roseman Mendoza. The floor is back to you, Ms. McNeil.
Thank you very much. The retailer occupation tax revenue for the month of March, you can see we received $1,487,000 compared to March of 2023 of $1,544,000. The biggest change there was in PPRT, and that was communicated to us last year that our PPRT distributions were going to be lower during this year. Overall, the difference is $56,527. We are now within the first quarter of the year. March rounds that out. Total vouchers through the month of March, 4,399,877, compared to 2023 of 4,584,954. We are currently about 185,000 below 2023. However, again, it all comes back to PPRT. PPRT was lower during the first few months of the year, so that just rolls into this number. Looking at the budget, we between all of these categories, we have a budget of $16,674,000. We would like to be at $4,183,000. We are currently at $4,399,000. So we are currently about $216,000 above budget. So moving on down to the shared sales tax. January, February, and March receipts, total $559,000 from Town of Normal, $801,000 City of Bloomington. Total $1.3 million, just slightly under where we were in 2023. The fund equity in that fund is $17,998,364. Property taxes, I was going to give Kathy a public thank you. The county clerk's office delivered extension to us on April 1st, and so we are currently in the process of billing. And I really honestly, in all of my years, I don't remember extension coming in that early. So a huge applause to the county clerk's office, even with the primary election going on, for pushing that to us early. We expect to have our bills out the end of April, and then we'll be moving into a tax cycle. First week of June, first week of September, everything right on schedule. So it's very nice to have that in our hands right now. The overall levy we're collecting for the county, as you know, $46,125,000. Motor fuel, we have received during the first quarter receipts of $521,000 from regular county motor fuel renewal, $492,000, and township $430,000, with renewal coming in at $405,000. So, any questions in regards to this document? Okay. Moving on to the cash and investment report. We are still looking at very positive rates on the Illinois funds. We are at 5.41 during the month of March, and have some treasuries that are coming up. We're just constantly rolling over with investments. Watching the nursing home fund. The nursing home right now has a negative cash balance of $1,814,000. So, as you know, basically the nursing home is borrowing against the general fund. And then in the ARPA fund, 17,309,000. A lot of that, as you can see, is invested in treasuries, but a lot of it is also liquid, so we can meet our obligations here in 2024. So overall, cash and investments, 117,387,000. Any questions? The next document that you have in front of you is a report on the nursing home. And please keep in mind that these are 2023 numbers, but they are unaudited and they are still subject to change. Our audit with Clifton Larson Allen began on Monday, so we have 2 weeks of field work. And then they will complete the audit over the months of the rest of April and May. But looking at the overall year number 3, the year-to-date accumulated revenues and transfers for the nursing home, 11,938,511. And then we have year-to-date fund expenses and transfers out of 12,121,924. So as of right now for the fiscal year, we have expenses that exceed revenue by 183,413. The receivable at the end of 2023 was 4,545,793. The cash on hand, 320,513, and the fund equity, 1,167,857. It's important to note that that fund equity number was reduced by the reserve for bad debt. We started booking that significant reserve to just make sure that if all of the receivable balance was not collected, that we had those funds set aside. At the end of 2022, the reserve was $2,834,000. At the end of 2023, the county auditor has a reserve booked of $2,872,000. So, and that will be adjusted as time goes on. Any questions in regards to this 2023 document? Again, please keep in mind this is not final, but it gives you a snapshot on where we are right now. And I think that the nursing home overall had a pretty good year. The next document is just a snapshot of where the nursing home is here in 2024. The first 2 months of the year, it's still kind of early, obviously. But on number 3, you can see their year-to-date revenue right now accrued. And actually, I have to back up. This is actually for the first 2 months of the year for the nursing home because they report to me a month late. So during the first 2 months of the year year-to-date recorded revenues, $1,863,062. And the expenses, $1,286,351. So just on the books, their revenues currently exceed their expenses by $576,000. The receivable, $4,827,000. Cash, you can see as of the end of February, we had cash of negative $1,337,137. And at the end of February, fund equity, $1,744,568. Any questions? And then the final report that you have is the Blue Cross Blue Shield, our self-insured plan. During the first 3 months of the year, first quarter, our expenses total $1,825,986 compared to $1,850,415 in 2023. So we currently in 2024 have expenses that are about $24,429 lower than we were a year ago. So, and then you can see the rest of the documents there. The column 8, during the month of March, you can see there was a significant stop-loss adjustment there of 340,000. This is why it's so important for us to have our stop-loss insurance in place. So, any questions?
Thank you, Mrs. McNeil. Accept and place on file the county's treasurer's monthly financial report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item 2, information, any other, Ms. McNeil?
No, I have nothing more to add other than please contact me if you ever have any questions or concerns. Reach out to me. I'll be happy to talk with you.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda, item 4E, Marcelle Thompson. She has no action items. Do you have anything for information for us?
Just a good evening to everyone. We're enjoying this lovely weather. Just wanted to do a quick recap of the report that you have before you. Staff continues to diligently care for the animals at the facility, and I wanted to give them a big shout out for that. They're doing a fantastic job. They're caring for the animals. Our transfers are continuing to increase. Year to date, we've transferred 62 cats and 39 dogs to other programs for adoption, so that really helps our program, and wanted to give a shout out as well to those community partners who are helping us find homes for those adoptable animals. Spring has brought the seasonal activity of wildlife a little bit earlier, so we're preparing to triage all those educational opportunities with nuisance wildlife questions and concerns. And I wanted to also point out that down below on the first page of the report is 2 preliminary pictures of the new site location, and the address has been formally identified as the 13060 East 850 North Road, Shirley, Illinois 61772. So that's exciting to see all those things coming together. We facilitated 82 rabies inoculations during the period from January through March. We've prepared 62 rabies specimens, helping protect the community. All of those specimens were negative. We've also monitored 54 bite rabies investigations. Breakdown of that would be 10 bats, 13 cats, 31 dogs. And would like to remind the community to vaccinate your pets for rabies starting at the age of 4 months. Maintaining those vaccines helps protect the community and the pets from the spread of the rabies virus, as well as other core vaccines should be looked at with your veterinarian. And the rabies registration tag fees can be found on the link provided in that report for easy access to paying your registration online, further showing our streamlining, trying to go into the digital process to help our citizens with those types of activities. And we've done overpopulation control January through March, 48 cat spays, 26 canine alters, implanted 75 microchips, and inoculated 88 animals for rabies. So our program is doing a fantastic job on putting those things in place to help protect the community and finding new homes for our adoptable animals. Also would like to say that if anyone's interested in volunteering or fostering, please look at our Seamless Docs creation for our volunteer application, so that can be easily accessed for our communities online, and they can also call us and we can help walk them through that. So if there's something that someone would like to help with our community animal control program, we can start looking at more volunteer opportunities. And our animal adoptions, private adoptions are doing really well, totaling 8 dogs and 22 cats, in addition to the 101 transfers that we've already completed, totaling 131 pets. January through March have found forever homes through the efforts of our program. And also wanted to promote Sweater here. He's down there in the photo, our gray and white cat with a fun name, who's looking for a new place to call home. So if anyone that you know is needing a great cat, please send them my way. So we have plenty of those available. So want to thank everyone for all your support and also the support of the community for our animal control program.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Thompson. On to the next item, item 4F, Cassie Taylor, County Administrator. Actually, we're bringing 3 items before this board. The first action item, 4F1A, request approval of an amendment to the full-time resolution for the sheriff. Have it noted that Sheriff Matt Lane is here to answer any questions. Cassie Taylor, continue. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Yes, motion. Motion by Val Lehman, second by, did you get those?
Lehman and
Rogel.
Rogel.
Floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Friedrich. This amendment that it starts on page 21 would be to support a reorganization effort that the sheriff is presenting with respect to his jail administration, and I will turn the floor over to him to continue to explain with the approval of the chair.
Thank you. What this is an effort to do is to distribute the work more evenly in jail administration. Right now, I have a superintendent and 2 assistants, and they're in great need of some relief. This position would concentrate on mental health, which is obviously a problem it's going to be our problem for quite some time. I believe my longest mental health person that I have waiting for DHS has been since October right now. We have to help these people the best way we can, and I need someone to concentrate on that effort. So that's going to help with the mental health aspect of the jail, which is a large portion of it, and the programs that we offer for them. It's also going to help relieve some of the on-call time for the people that I have that have been doing this with 2 or 3 people for several years in a row. With my patrol, my police divisions, there's more of an equity. There's at least 4 or 5 people on rotation for call. So you get some time off in between. These folks don't have that luxury, and I would like to provide that. I don't want to burn out the excellent staff that I have. This is budget neutral, as you'll see, for the rest of this year. It will be included in my 25 budget. And I think it's just the right thing to do for the facility and making sure the jail stays safe.
Any questions? Hearing none. Request approval of an amendment to the full-time resolution for the sheriff. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Very good. Back to you, Ms. Taylor.
My next request is to request approval of the employee wellness fair budget. And I turn it back over for motion.
Request approval of employee wellness. It's April Fools. Request approval of employee wellness fair budget. Who would like to make a motion? Motion by member Rosamond Mendoza, second. Val Lehman. Floor is yours, Ms. Taylor. I'm gonna leave that.
Thank you, Chair. This is our annual wellness fair that is held in conjunction with the City of Bloomington. It's put on by the Health Department. It is made available to all 850 of our employees and includes many vendors, many activities, and runs for most of the morning on that day, which I believe is scheduled for the 18th of April. And so administration requests approval.
Any questions? Request approval of employee wellness fair budget. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Just a question for administration. So since you mentioned that it's available for all county employees, but is only available in the morning, are there processes in place to make sure that there's coverage so everybody can have an opportunity to swing by the fair and enjoy it?
There's efforts made by the department heads
Yeah.
to make that possible, and I do believe that other activities that the Wellness Committee of the Health Department plans throughout the year are also available for those who may be absent that day or cannot make that event.
Okay, that's great to hear that there's some kind of continuing and moving forward pieces that go with it as well. Thank you.
Any other questions? Request approval of the Employee Wellness Fair budget. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. The third item is request approval of the municipal advisory agreement with PMA Securities, and I'd entertain a motion. Motion by Rogal, second by Roseman Mendoza. Floor is back to you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. To simply explain this request, we have been paying bonds on our jail annex for 10 years. Those bonds are eligible for rebonding or refinancing, and PMA was the securities firm, the financial advisor that assisted us with our bond acquisition for the animal control shelter and our elevator project in 2022. They have presented this proposal to us so that we may investigate the possibility of refinancing some of those earlier bonds to see if we can get better rates. And if that is possible, there would be a fee associated, as is described in the contract. If there is no refinancing or rebonding, then we would not incur any fee.
Any questions? Request approval of the municipal advisory agreement with PMA Securities. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Action item carries. Okay. Item 4F1, D, and E will be tabled.
We would request that they be pulled from the agenda this evening to be revisited next month.
Thank you. On to item 4F2. Any other information to be presented? Oh, Mr. Erickson.
I just wanted to slow down the meeting a little bit. I think you know, see where you end up at here.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. McIntyre left. I was going to recognize him. Okay. Any other business or communication? Mr. Rogal?
Yeah, I just have a brief question. I'll fill in some time for you. I'm curious how Member Soldner got on our committee. I don't believe he was on it last month, and now he is. No, Member Schaefer has been on our committee, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually don't know who's been sitting next to me.
I'll refer that to our state's attorney. Trevor.
I don't know exactly, well, so I guess when Chair Metzger was elected chair, I believe committee assignments were shifted, and Mr. Soldner was placed on this committee. Maybe it's after Member Hansen was appointed to the board. But I remember one of the first claim settlements that I put through, or I requested approval from Finance Committee, Mr. Soldner was on the committee. So I think it goes back to September or October.
Okay, I'm mistaken. I could have sworn I sat beside her for more than one committee, but I guess not.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm stumped. Are you good with that answer, Jim? Okay, okay, okay. Any other? Yeah, okay. Any other communications? All right, our next meeting is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024, and we are adjourned.